Hello and welcome to this special program. And today, once again, on a long story short, we have someone very special who's joining us on the show. Adhyayan Suman, actor and musician, is with us on the program. Adhyayan, appreciate you taking out the time and speaking to us on a long story short. First up, I want to talk about the recent most happening and development and the process in your life, which is, of course,
Right,
Heeramandi. People have
right.
appreciated your work. People have really commended, the kind of depth you have shown as an actor in that particular series. How are you
Yeah,
enjoying this ride? How are you enjoying this wave of appreciation?
yeah. I think it's been long due, to be honest. I think I've been here for the last 15 years, and for an actor, there is nothing bigger than validation from the audiences. It's been a hard ride. Been through a lot of dark patches in my life, and when it comes from, especially, of course, the audiences, and then first, and then from in regards to a filmmaker, one of the finest filmmakers in the world, when he goes out and gives you a sense of validation, I think that gives you a sense of uh, relief in a way that maybe for the last 15 years you've been on the right track, and to be able to hold on to that faith was the right thing that I did, in my career. So I'm happy, of course, but I feel like it's been 3 months into Heeramandi now, and when the show came out in May, June, it was phenomenal, and the amount of love that people gave. But it's time to move on now and look at what next, and what next can I do for myself and for the audiences, and how do I hopefully you know end up getting the right roles now from now on that I've been wishing for.
All right, Adhyayan, you just said, in your first response that you've been through a dark phase for the last 15 years. From what I remember, your first movie, Raz, I think it was a huge
Yeah.
success.
Mhm.
Why do you think this big start did not fructify and capitalize for you the way it should have?
Oh man, in life, when things don't work out for you, there could be, a billion reasons that you could probably reason yourself with, or the family with, or the people with, or write down things on a piece of paper and figure ये गलत हो गया, वो गलत हो गया, ऐसा करता तो ऐसा होता, वैसा करता तो वैसा होता. But life doesn't work. The universe doesn't work this way. I feel like there was so much of learning that I had to do in my life. And I feel like if I had gained success in an early stage of my life, maybe I would have been lost. You feel like success can make you, yes, success gives you confidence, yes, but success also brings out a lot of negatives if you're not able to handle success the right way. And I've seen the best of them fall with success. And because I've come, of course, from a very privileged background in my life, I had not seen too many hardships in my life. But when things didn't work out for me, I don't think just using the word failure is a good thing to do all the time. I think it's a little negative. I think it's a learnings that I did in my life. I had to go through that. There was a lot of maturity I had to gain, a lot of wisdom I had to gain, a lot of life that I had to see, and for that you have to go through the darkest of phases in your life, or roads rather. And there are going to be nobody there for you except for your family and maybe a friend or two. And at the end of the day, no matter how many people are there with you, you have to fight your own journey and your own battles. And I had to go through that. I feel I was destined because I believe a lot in destiny. And but today I feel like there is so much that I gained when I went through those days as a man, as an artist. Because of all those things, I went around doing something in music. From that, I've now got, I started directing. I became a director. I started writing. I feel like if I was so, I had that blinders on ke actor hi banna hai life mein, but I realized that I'm a lot more than just wanting to be an actor. I've always wanted to be an actor, director, like how a Farhan has been, and I felt like because I saw a sense of failure early on in my life, it sort of pushed me to go ahead and hone my other skills or work on my other skills. At one point of my life I said, look, rather than doing films that don't really matter or people are not serious about making, I need to go and create my own opportunities, and that's how music happened, and so on and so forth. So I can't really put on a point. This is why it didn't work out for me. There is I don't know the reason. It was meant to happen.
Um, a lot of people in Bollywood have taken wrong decisions because of not being able, uh, to satisfy their professional ambitions, if I can call it that. Uh,
Hmm.
did certain thoughts also cross your mind? And do you think that your family and the strong background you came from actually helped you go through that, troubled time?
They did. I mean, I was depressed. I was in a dark phase. There were days I felt not actively suicidal, but the thoughts did occur to me that what if I jumped off from here? How would I feel? What if I died? How would my family be? But then it was, of course, there, but it was there for a brief period in life, and I have always been a fighter, and I've always had my father who's been a fighter. He came from nowhere, and resurrected himself, became this humongous name, in the television fraternity. And I realized that giving up is very easy, and giving up your life is very easy in life. But what is very difficult is for you to be hit and get back up. And I'm not trying to quote anybody, and I'm not trying to be filmy about it, but the whole but success, today I think people are very confused about the definition of success. The world does not understand the definition of a lot of the people in this world who are struggling or trying to make a name for themselves. They are able to correlate success to money and power and fame, but that's not it. Success, I think I'm the most successful man today at 36 because I was able to fight life, because I was able to change so many things about myself. I was able to change with time. I was able to accept my failures. I was able to accept my time. It's very important in life to accept the time that you're in. The people who are in most of the days are living in denial are the people who are not able to fight life. It's because they're in denial. What is important is for me to be like, okay, this is where I stand, this is where I'm at. Now, what's the way forward? How do I move ahead from this? I don't know how long it's going to take. I don't know how long it's going to be. It's going to take for me to break that wall. But hey, dude, I know one thing. I'm going to break it, and I'm going to make all the efforts in the world. And if I have to die, I'll die then. I'll die trying, but I won't just die sitting at home. And that's what I did. And a huge reason is my family behind me. Of course, there's no two ways about that. There is no other reason how I would be able to survive a monstrous world out there with people trying to pull you down at every second, or write you off just because you've had one failure and make you feel like you are a nobody. It's not an easy world to be in. It's not an easy world to be in, especially for a man like me who has only worked from a space of values, because I come from that. So I never ever wanted to shortchange myself, or change my soul and sell myself to the devil. When I speak about selling myself to the devil, there are a lot of connotations that go about. People could do anything. When I met a couple of people, male or female, saying, "I will make it here no matter what happens, whatever I have to do here." It's a little scary for somebody to make a statement like that, because there are a lot of layers that come when you say, "I'll do whatever it takes," and I could never do that to myself.
Few years ago, Adhyayan, there was, a big chatter about nepotism right after Sushant
Hmm.
Singh Rajput. What did you
Hmm.
make of that? Are you somebody who believes that nepotism helps you in the industry? Has it helped you?
I mean, I've always very actively said this, that if nepotism helped me, why would I be in depression for 15 years of my life? Why wouldn't I be being signed by the biggest of production houses, or my father actively pushing me, in the so-called industry out there? But none of it has happened with me, because at the end of the day, I've said this multiple times, and people need to. I mean, I feel like now it's just become conversational. Now it's become fashion to use the word nepotism and just have a debate on it, but it's actually futile, because we do have examples of people who have come from the outside world. And I mean, I look at Rajkumar Rao, right? I mean, there is no better example for me in the current generation right now to give you, with the fact that Rajkumar Rao has done exceedingly well for himself, just on the basis of talent. And I think that a lot of star kids, if you see, who came from my generation in 2008, 7, whatever it is, have vanished. because the audiences absolutely didn't accept them. But when I came in 2009, I've had a massive success in Raz. There was audience acceptance to a point. With Jashan, there was an acceptance when I did the film with Mahesh Bhatt. People loved my film Heartless to a certain extent, and weirdly, people liked my negative role in Himmat Wala that I did with Sajid Khan. People loved me in Ashram, and now they've loved me in Heeramandi. So I've had a fair share of acceptance here. That's the reason why I've been able to survive. If I was just like written off completely and said I'm a non-actor and non-entity, I wouldn't have been able to fight. There was always hope. Might not be, a bigger set of audiences, which is fine. All you need probably is just like one person to say, hey, I like you, man. And then that's the motivation you have to fight in life. So coming back to, the entire debate and conversation on nepotism, it didn't help me. Yes, there are people out there in my fraternity, I wouldn't want to name, are getting multiple opportunities after giving multiple failures, because they've been backed up, because they've been born in the industry. They are obviously building roles for themselves where they want to be called as an actor, but they of course are not. At every film they're not even able to sort of move forward and hone their skills or craft or change or improve. But that's something that there is nothing that we can do about it. It's a world that you live in. It's a world that you have to survive in, right? And there is no. It's frustrating because there are good actors. Not I'm not talking about me. There are a lot of other fine actors who've not been able to get the right opportunity. Is because that opportunity today is going to somebody's kid or somebody's daughter who's from the fraternity for the last 30 years here. But I have accepted that. I've accepted that fate. That's how it's always going to be.
Well, you know, 20 years ago, at the end, there was no OTT. A lot of star
Mhm.
actors came, a lot of star kids came, and like you said, some of them were not accepted by the audience, and they all faded
Mhm.
away into oblivion. Do you think that
Mhm.
OTT provides, that accommodation to a lot of people who perhaps would not have been able to make it on the big screen, and which is good in a way? There's more room for everyone.
Some more room. I mean, to a point, yes. To a point, yes. I'm a bright example, right? Both of my shows are one of the biggest shows in the country today. Ashram with Prakash Jha and Heeramandi with Mr. Bansali. I've been part of the two cult shows, right? And that's only because OTT gave me that platform or a chance to, at least showcase who I am. And of course, I'm grateful to both the directors who gave me this opportunity. But I still feel like there is still limitation. I still feel like a lot of the big shows today are still going to movie stars. I mean, who come from or commercially viable movie stars. A lot of the stuff today on TV, you see a lot actors who from films coming into TV now. A lot of the space is given to all the actors and not the people who are actually working there who deserve that space. And it's actually they talk about a certain change here. It's there to a certain degree, but a lot of the change is still required. I feel a lot of the actors still are not getting the big OTT shows, or they're not made the face of an OTT show because they're still looking for a commercially viable actor from a box office perspective. And to be very honest, there is no box office on OTT, right? There is no lines. It's a blur. There's no line. This viewership that we discuss about, but who the hell knows what viewership are these even film actors getting? A lot of them have the right numbers ever been disclosed? It's not, right. So and when it talks about OTT, I feel, but then you look at so many other shows where you've had like such new stars, and they have been phenomenal, and some of them got the opportunity to sort of shine, and they did. So a lot more actors need to be given that chance, and not be given to film people who are just coming from films. I feel it's not. I still feel it's not a fair playground yet, but there is always hope against hope, right? I'm just hoping that changes.
What do you make of Bollywood today? Do you think that Bollywood has become too top heavy? And this is perhaps a concept that South Indian movies have proved wrong. They're relying more on the concept.
I love South Indian films. I just saw Manjumal Boys. There is a certain sense of sincerity. Look, even South cinema makes bad films, but even in that bad cinema, there is a sense of sincerity in it, right? And I feel like the stories like Manjumal Boys, which is about this group of boys who get one of them gets stuck, under the cave, and how it's a survival film, right? It's a survival drama. Then I've seen The Goat Life, Then I see a Bahubali or an RRR, which are commercial films, absolute commercial films, out and out commercial films. But there is so much depth to what South, like Charlie 777. There's so much depth to what they want to create, and it's reaching out to pan audiences. To be very honest, a lot of South stars I never knew about till they became pan India stars. But just the fact that they were able to touch my lives in ways and move me as a filmmaker and as an actor. I was like, who are these people? Like if you see Manjumal boys, when you see a group of those boys, I don't even know who the actors are. But it's the belief that they make that cinema with, right, where it's not just about wanting to make films with stars. And our industry today, at a certain point, why I think it's a little too far-fetched to be happy with one spree that's made 500 crores. What about the entire year where the films haven't done well?
Correct.
That's very categorically, very coolly put under the rug and the carpet. But who are we fooling at the end of the day? We aren't making good cinema as Hindi films. Hindi films make, you tell me, you name me the top 10 films of this year.
There aren't too many.
There are no films. That is the reason why there are such massive stars today who are failing at the box office. Is not because people don't want to see them. It's because they don't want to go out there and do something sincere. It's not about money. Money always comes and goes, right? But everything is about, wanting to put a face, put a front, pump in money in marketing and make it look like, oh no, this is a success. But you're fooling yourself. The audiences are very smart. They know this film, a particular film hasn't done well. To be able to just like lie about the film doing well, or try and save a star who's not, probably because he or she has 5 more films coming in. It's wrong. It's because, you are creating this entire pattern which you are not able to break. And you have to break that someday. And you're not trying hard enough for that. You're not giving ample talents more opportunities. You need to give them. I mean, did anybody know that Abhay Verma is going to become a star with a 100 crore film with Munjia? No. But he did. So that means there is massive capacity, to be able to make some good films, to give some good and sort of pad that with good talent. And this year has proved that the stars have failed, but the films have worked because they've had good actors playing the characters.